Beautiful family, we couldn't wait for you to try this Primal Movements routine. You guys have been asking for it, and on this one, we're gonna be walking you through the warm-up, all the movements, and then you're gonna be able to create your very own sequence. Before we get to the practice, like and subscribe, and now it's practice time. Beautiful family, welcome to Creative Mind 1. This is going to be a practice that might touch unfamiliar territory for some of you. Some of us might have thought at some point that we were not creative, or that creativity is not something that defined us pretty well. So we're going to go straight into it, an area that we tend to avoid because of fear or because we don't feel secure. So this is a safe space. We're going to be practicing today that creative brain, and the way that we're going to do this is by just doing one movement and exiting in different variations. I'm going to be talking more about this, so let's start first with a warm-up, just to get a feel of how we're feeling today before we get into it. So let's lower down into a squat. It can be a deep squat. You can start to maybe just raise the heels, see how those toes are feeling, see how our balance is, where is that today? Are you having a hard time balancing on your toes? How are your hips? Are they closed, open, more open than normally? It always changes. You can add into it rotations. You can use your hands if having balancing issues or just it's challenging today. And now let's build more into this movement. We go from here. It's gonna raise, down, switch. Gonna raise into this kind of organic lunge. Doesn't have a specific shape, but it's a very similar movement pattern. So let's do a couple more. And that's good. Now we're gonna place our hands on the floor. Keep your knees off the floor as well. You start to expose those wrists to your weight. You could do some rotations. Focus here is the wrists rather than the scapula or its position. We'll touch that later. So really focus on the wrists. And the way to do that, you're gonna find that if you keep your arm locked out, extended, it's gonna be easier to isolate the movement through the wrist. Otherwise, we're gonna be placing some energy is gonna be leaking, so to say. So keep them straight. You can add some rotations. Might hear some popping. Just be mindful of that and where you're feeling. If it feels safe, go for it. And that can change on the day-to-day. It doesn't go, it's not linear. It doesn't go, it's always better the next day. It might fluctuate, just like everything else. So good with the wrists. Now let's go into the spine. And the way we're gonna be moving the spine is by just, you guys know cat-cow? You've done this before. So now let's add some angles to it. So maybe twisting, side flexing in this case. I'm going cat-cow with that flexion. Just explore with it. You might be going in circles, just like that. Let me face the camera. And you might find a spot in there. It's a little tender. You can just spend a few more minutes in it. Keep it dynamic. Find that spot and go back to it. Explore different angles. And that would be it for today's warm-up. So, like I said before, we're gonna be doing one movement, and the idea is to explore in how many ways you can exit that movement. The movement that we're gonna be doing today is called the squat to sit. So you start in a squat, you drop your legs towards this side, you pivot towards the right using your right hand, you push yourself, and you go back to the squat. So once again, we go back, we push with the opposite hand, and we go back to the squat. So this is a really good movement that's gonna help you transition between other movements. So you'll see that it's very easy to come in, out of this movement, and then do another one. So the task right now, we have 5 minutes, and we'll be exploring some of these exits. Just as a demo, I'm gonna be showing you a couple, and then we're gonna start practicing for 5 minutes, and then we'll go to the next drill. So, squat to sit to squat, and there, and go back. Boom. And try to do it in as many variations as possible. Not always you're gonna be doing unique variations, but just don't get stopped or blocked into them. Just explore. Fear of judgment out the door, and let's start right now. 5 minutes. So we'll go in. Start in 10 seconds. I'll be doing my sets as well with you. Rest whenever you need to, and just flow with it. There's no sets, reps, just go with it and rest whenever you want. So how's it going, guys? We've been in this set for 1 minute. How is it feeling? You don't need to do it fast. Just explore different options. And you keep practicing. I'll keep giving you some tips. So notice how you enter the position. You can stop it altogether and enter the position always from a squat. So you have one less variable there to think about. And the moment you push yourself and get into the squat, notice where your body's going. Is it going to the opposite side? Do you want it to stay on top of this leg, of the same side that you're pushing yourself to? Do you want to add more rotations to it? Do you want to lift yourself with one foot or one leg? Do you want to use your hands to go into another step? So think about all of these options. Don't limit yourself to what you're familiar with, what you know, but also don't judge yourself on every single repetition. If you've done only one variation 10 times and you didn't modify any of it, don't judge yourself for that. Just observe it, and the smallest of changes that you can apply to it, like we could do the same pattern, but it's never the same, the exact same. I might be pushing myself with 5 fingers, maybe with 2. I might be balancing myself with the other arm. So look for those details, those subtleties, and you'll make it different. Don't limit yourself. Just go with the flow. Try to be in the moment. Oh, you've repeated the same move 3 times. How dare you? It's fine. We're almost in there. Once again, rest whenever needed. And we have 1 more minute. Drop down. That control, that sensation of wanting to know how to move before you actually move, let that go. Just get into the movement and see where it'll take you. Just don't stop it. Don't limit it. Don't limit yourself. And this is going to be translating into so many areas in your life. So many blocks that we've put, narratives that we construct that limit ourselves. Just, you have the choice now. Drop it and see where life will take you. And that was it for our first drill. You can come back to it whenever you want. You can add it into a routine, the end of it, as a warm-up. You can explore with this concept with so many movements. So you got that. Now we focused on that exit of the movement, so the ending part. Now what we're gonna be doing on the next 5 minutes is to explore a little further. Once you exit from that movement, what happens? Did you step cross-legged? Why did you stop? Where was that taking you? All those ways, let's try to expand them a little bit. So instead of thinking, okay, I'm just gonna exit from this move and I'm gonna do this other move, just keep going with this other one and see where you're gonna be ending up. So we're gonna start 5 minutes again, right now, and let's see where this takes us. Just a little demonstration, be from squat, sit, to squat, to here, and then I just felt like doing this. So I didn't plan it ahead, it just kind of happened or emerged. So let's go with it and see where that will take you. right. So we are in 1 minute and a half in. What are the sensations? Any discoveries that you've made? Any movements that you've never done in your life? Are they emerging or are they not? And if they're not, how are you feeling about this? How are you feeling about sticking to what you're familiar with, to what you know? How does that feel? And are you giving yourself permission to go in a different direction? Go and do something differently. And why aren't you doing it? Is it because of fear? Is it because of what they will say? What you will say if you do it and you fail? So just practice it. Just do it, just move. Don't think about it. Just get in this moment right now and just move in every direction that happens. It just happens. So let's go again with it. We're almost there. Still have a minute or so. And these times are just guides or constraints. But you can take all of these concepts and apply them for the amount of time that you want to. So feel free to either extend this practice, this part of the practice, or just stick to the follow along video if it's the first time that you've done it, or every time you do it. And get that creative mind of yours, creating your own version of it. So we'll go for 1 more minute. And that's it for this drill. So now you have 2 concepts. The first one was the squat to sit, to squat and explore the exits. Now, after that one, we've prolonged the exits. So we kind of grew a longer or the beginning of a flow. Now we're gonna apply the same thing with another movement. That's gonna give us many options as well. And this one is gonna be called the side hop. Side hop is this. You place with your right hand. So if we're going to the left, we're gonna be using the right hand first. The left follows. We plant those two. Our weight is gonna be supported on these hands. So prepare accordingly. And then you're gonna be crossing. So right, left, left. So the right foot is gonna be touching first and then the left. Either extended, like I did now, or it might look like this, something like this. It's also valid. Valid or not valid. If your intention is to do this, everything is good, just keep trying. So it might look something like this. It might be something even faster, like this. Or it might be something more like this. So you pick the texture, see what's available to you, and let's practice 4 minutes exiting from this movement. So we'll start 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. It can be in many directions. So once again, don't limit yourself. Don't think about, oh, that was not a side hop. That was a front hop. Let it go. Okay, so we've been practicing for 2.5 minutes. How does this one compare to the previous one? Is endurance being a challenge right now? Are you breathing heavy? Are you doing it too fast? Are you being mindful of your breath? I know, many things to consider, especially if it's your first time doing this. You're gonna have to start to prioritize what to pay attention to. But you can always go back to your breath. Do you need to stop and take a big breath to lower down your heart rate and keep going? And what's the rush? Yes, we do have 4 minutes, but once again, you can always practice for longer. So there's no rush. Not here. Very last few seconds before we finish with this one. And we'll go with the next one, which is the prolonged version of this. Just like we did with the squat and sit, or sit to squat, we're gonna build up on this movement. So side hop, see where that leads you. Ready? We're gonna start in 5. So get ready. Don't think it through too much. Sometimes we have the tendency to plan the first couple. So let's go. So I normally aim for flows of 1 minute. It's a good milestone in which it also depends how fast you go, how intense, what's the movement texture. Is it fluid? Is it more, how to say it, more stop and go, thinking through what's the next move? Or are you really just letting go because there are some moments in there that you want to stop, you don't know what to do. You might think, oh, I messed up. This is not what I wanted to do. But then, as soon as you feel that, just let it go as fast as you can. And that's also part of the practice. Just to let go, keep moving. Let go, keep moving. You're gonna have those thoughts. They're gonna happen. And if this is your first time, for sure. I wouldn't say for sure, but chances are high. So let them go. There's no right or wrong, no judgment. Just practice and learn and enjoy it. Let's go for 1 more minute. And time's up. How was this one? I'm sure that the variations that came right after the side hop are totally different than the ones that you did previously with the squat to sit. And that's something interesting to observe. Now on this one, the next drill that we're gonna be doing something that maybe you already had, but you didn't have the chance to do or to experience, and it's to mix the two moves that we practiced today. So going from squat to sit to the side hop. It's a connection that emerges pretty naturally. So it would be something like this. And now notice that I'm not cutting the rotation and doing the side ape this way. I'm taking advantage of that momentum that I'm creating, in this case, this circular motion, and I'm gonna be ending up in this way. So if I'm moving, drawing a circle, boom, my body naturally goes this way, and that's when I connect. The side ape, then my body goes to the right, I don't cut that flow, and technically I would go this way again. But you can always just play with it, go and then change it, but explore it. Explore different ways of getting in and out of both movements. So we're gonna start right now, and let's practice this one. So we have 2 moves. Let's explore how to connect these two. So how is that going? How are you connecting the dots? Maybe you're just practicing. See, what are you repeating? What's the recurrent exit? How do you connect it with the other one? So notice the energies that you're creating with the body. What's called centrifugal energy that's stored in the direction where it takes you. You can add a little flair of yours, your movement texture. You can add a move in between that helps you connect. Are you abusing the same speed of movement? So perhaps you might want to try it to slow it down or to speed it up and see what comes out. Again, one might be totally different than the other. Definitely a different texture. All that tension changes everything. We'll do one more minute. And we'll finish it right here. So right away, no, there's a lot to process. You've done many combinations today, many movements that were new to you. So right now, instead of controlling the way we move and thinking about, am I moving differently? Am I repeating the same pattern? Let go of all of that. And we're gonna be shaking for 3 minutes. Shake however you like. There are no rules. You can jump around. I'll stay in the same spot. Feels good. Sometimes I like to expand and explore and run around. Today I'll stay on the same spot. Feet grounded, about hip distance apart. Then I'm gonna just let myself drop. It's like if someone hit you in the back of the knee and you drop. I'm gonna be doing that during 3 minutes, and then we're gonna sit in stillness and simply observe what happens. I'm gonna guide you there a little bit. So 3 minutes shakiness, and then 3 minutes meditation or stillness right after. So let's start right now. You can close your eyes. Closing your eyes might help get more in tune with the sensations. Try to find that. I invite you to find that relaxation point. We're getting close to letting go. Just contracting and relaxing fast, but also in isolation. It normally emerges from the trunk, spine, through the core, and then the limbs. End up releasing that energy. I recommend you breathe through the nose. Inhale and exhale through the nose. It will help you keep your heart rate down even though we're moving fast. So 1 more minute. Be cautious if bending over is a sensitive movement to you, so just watch it. Ten seconds. And now we're gonna find sitting position that's comfortable. Might be cross-legged, it might be with a cushion. Just find a comfortable position. And do your best to stay still. Place your attention in your breath. And keep track of the breathing rhythm. You'll notice that it doesn't stop. It's just a timeline. And now we're gonna close our eyes. And put our attention into the sounds that we're hearing. And you'll notice that there's nothing you need to do to hear the sounds. They just appear in your consciousness. You're just receiving. Maybe the music that's playing, sound of my voice, or an unexpected sound that just happened. And from this place, let's look for the one listening. Where is that space? Is that space familiar? So that was it for today's practice. This meditation focused on the sounds is something that you can take away and you can use it pretty much anytime, as long as you don't have any disabilities in terms of hearing. So you can go back to the space, ground yourself, find that balance, and see things from a bigger, more expanded perspective. I hope that this practice served you. Keep playing, keep exploring, and keep moving. I'll see you on the next one. We hope you enjoyed this practice, and now it's the moment that you guys have been waiting for. All of those that commented within the first 60 minutes of uploading the video. We have the winners right here. And you guys just won free access to the SM Academy for 3 months, in which you'll find all our programs in calisthenics, yoga, hand balancing, primal elements, standalone practices, as well as mobility and flexibility protocols, and the amazing SM Fam community, which, by the way, we're running a sale on our yearly plan. So if you enroll right now, you're gonna get to save 4 months. Like, share, subscribe, and keep moving, keep learning, and keep experiencing. We'll see you on the next one. Beautiful family.
Don't talk too loud.
What's up? Hitting you back with another video. In which if